Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to the stump. I've been playing with pocket knives recently and really getting back to this very tactile experience of working with wood. And so I came out here last night and built a little fire with just a Swiss Army knife, and I picked up this Ranger Victorinox, and it's really quite delightful. And so I whittled a wedge, and I created a bit of a baton on the handle, and this little piece of wood defeated me, but I got through some others, and I created a little fire with a very just using the Swiss Army knife and a ferro rod and some fire starter, which I put in an old Altoids tin. It's from Blackbeard. We use some of the Blackbeard's fire plugs, actually just one. So I'm excited to put together this little kit for you all. I've also recently picked up a folding pull saw. I grew up, my father had a Japanese pull saw growing up, and I thought they were, I watched him cut so much wood with that. And this I picked up off Amazon for $10 from Kerye. Is this little folding saw. And so I thought we would try out, there's two different sides. There's a wider tooth and a finer tooth side. I wanted to see how it might compare to the saw on the Ranger. They're very different devices, but I think they will still both cut wood. So this is a bit of a channel launch for me. I'd been encouraged to start up a ASMR channel, and around some of the things I enjoy doing. So my goal is to create some kickback, relaxing content for y'all, something to relax to and wind down to. And some of these things, working with my hands, is a way to keep myself grounded. I'm a licensed massage therapist, and I've, in the past 20 plus years of private practice, I've kept my hands very careful. But I was a Boy Scout back in the day, and a senior patrol leader. I made it up to life rank. I didn't make it to Eagle because I got a girlfriend in high school, so that changed everything. But I'd always loved working with wood, and there's something about working with these implements that is really soothing to me. So I thought I would share some of my loves and enjoyments, and so we're going to post more content every now and then. I don't know how regular of a basis because my life is really busy, but we're going to take some moments for ourselves, and I'm going to share them with you. So it's a really beautiful day, and let's start off sawing some wood. Alright, I thought we'd start off with the Victorinox. Gosh, the Ranger is so much like the Victorinox I had as a kid in Scouts. Except I don't think it had quite all of these features. It did have the saw, though. I remember the saw. Yep. Slow and steady. Really trying to use all of that little blade now that it's going. There we go. This is smooth. Little jaggedy edge there, but that is a smooth cut. So I'll try and make another cut right along there. So that's the Ranger. It's proving to be just phenomenal. Really happy to have this in my life. But the Kerye, I think it's pronounced, seems to be a Japanese origin, a mini folding saw, the KY04. And I love this little design on the wood handles. Traditional Japanese saws are pull saws where you don't push to make the cut, you pull back towards you. So let's see. This looks to be, I'm not sure what side is what, but we're going to start with this maybe 2 feet bottom side first. Oh, important to find a comfy place to put a knee. Ow. Ha, that is quite a saw. That's really, really lovely. Even left some black marks along there because I think it's probably maybe taken off paint. So let's try we tried the bottom side, now let's try the top side, see how different that feels. Alright, again, a place for a knee. A little harder to start off with. And these Japanese saws are very thin. See that? You can even make they're even a little bit musical. So this, once it gets going, it does the job, but it was certainly, this kind of cut was a lot easier with this bottom section. In fact, I'd like to try that again since it seemed so very efficient. Easy in, and no snags, no anything, just goes right through. Wow. Yep, Japanese saws are always quite musical. That's brilliant. I really like that. Let's try another kind of wood with these saws, just to give them the once over. Look at that! Look how easy it is to create a few sticks in a little pile of wood. I found this in an empty lot on the way here. It has all kinds of little swirly marks in it from insects and such. Let's see, but it feels maybe drier than the wood we just cut, and it is like bark free. So let's try the Victorinox one here. All right, a toothy start. And then once you get going, it's a whole lot easier. And I'm also not bracing this with my knee. Let's be more consistent, Hamid. Of course, I've got this dangly suspension clip on here because sometimes I carry this in my pocket. There it's going. Victorinox Ranger. One can be quite comfortable out in nature with just one of these multi-tools. And it just takes a little bit of effort. And that's a nice, gosh, it's so smooth right there. Love seeing these rings. All the years this tree was alive. All right, let's try the Kerye next, the folding, or the pull saw. The folding, these are all folding saws. The pull saw. This metal swivels around, attaches there, goes over this little bearing. And this I think is the side for this material. Let's see if I can get a good knee on this. Yeah, goes in easy, nice, even pulls. Inspires some confidence with the bit of speed you can generate. That's so clean. It's so fantastic how clean that is. Yeah. What a fantastic little saw. That's very satisfying. I'm going to try this blade again. I feel like that's the way to go. It is the most efficient out of my 3 sawing options. Oh, I think that's the first snag, which may be because I'm letting it move a fair bit more because I don't have a knee on the other end. But a little more efforting that time. Yeah, cool. Well, something I also wanted to try, which I had varied success with last night, to improve upon. You know, there's continuous improvement and learning is part of life. I wanted to try batoning again. With the Ranger. A folding blade is not the ideal thing to do with batoning. Ideally you want a fixed blade with a full tang. And with any folding knife, you don't want to baton with the blade fully extended, because that much impact puts a lot of stresses on that pivot and can harm that back spring and destroy your knife, maybe break the blade. So instead you want it at a 90 degree, like so. And one of the follies I made, which I hoping to improve upon, was I was using shorter pieces of wood So I'd baton like this and instantly kind of run out of room, and the knife would start to dip. So watching Felix Imler last night and his amazing Swiss Army knife technique videos has given me some new ideas. So I'm not sure which piece of wood. I think I'm going to try maybe this one. It's a little bit kind of loopy, but I have high hopes. And we're also going to be using this this chisel, which I had whittled down yesterday, but then after filming made some more improvements, specifically around this edge, which I found the file in the Ranger, which the Huntsman doesn't have. That was my other consideration with Victorinox Swiss Army knives. I went with this 5-layer Ranger because it has this this file on it. So I filed down that edge a little bit. So still perfecting this chisel here. I need to get this side down a little lower, but oops, there it goes. There goes the antler. It does stay. So I also found this piece of wood, which I sawed off and cut a line along here and whittled off a little smooth handle for my delicate mitts. And so I love how you can hold it here. There's a little knot there, or holding it like this may be an option. I don't know what feels right. We'll try out different ways to different batoning strategies here. Alright, so for that we need the big blade. This is a 91mm Swiss Army knife with the very classic red Celador scales. I just think they're such a beautiful, elegant design. So let's see, I need to do this with my left hand because my clubbing hand is over here. So we want to get the blade right as close to the wood as possible here, and then baton right in the middle. And gently. No need to just full force it and whack it. There we go. And about that far. There we've created a little gap there. Alright, so I am continuously learning, and I hope you are too. I feel like that is such a important part of life. So now once we've got it down that far, because you can see it's even with the edge of there, and I've got this pretty close to the tang of this knife. So I can't beat down any more there, but I can more towards this area that's exposed. That is beyond the wood. And I'm pulling down a bit with the hand holding the knife. I'm pulling down a bit with each strike to hopefully kind of even it out. And now that we've got it that wide, I wonder if it's time to use the wedge. I'm going to try it this way a little bit more. Sometimes with a folding knife, just have to kind of reposition things as the blade kind of gets out of this orientation. There's a nice crack. All right. Now, carefully to pull that out. Now I do want to, oh, the fallen antler. Mindfulness, Hamid. So I'm going to try and use this wedge. All right, I think we're making progress here. Yeah. Here we go. Pretty cool. .90-degree angle. Alright, I'm getting to be about even with the piece of wood, so if I want to keep batoning with the knife, I've got to come to the edge of my batoning surface, though I need to get that closer to the tang again. There we go. And that's how one can make tiny pieces out of wood. Let's try this side again. Yeah, just that little bit of downward pressure seems to be helpful. Seems to keep the blade a little more in line, so I'm having better success from my previous experience. I've been spending a little time sharpening up this knife too. How's it do making feather sticks? Yeah, not bad. Though, one of my favorite ways now to make feather sticks, be a little careful with this. In fact, I'm going to start off using another tool, the awl. Gosh, this was when I first got this knife, it was so hard to pull out. I'm a licensed massage therapist, so my fingernails have to be kept pretty stubby. But oh, it was painful to pull out, and I couldn't do it at first. There are ways that I have spent time breaking in this awl. But I'm just gonna give this a little start in the wood. Here we go. Sproing. Give you a different angle. It's a really easy way to make shavings. I'm not doing very good at actually making a feather stick. This is kind of curly wood. Let's try it with this piece. A little knot there. I just like going really slow. Just staying really present in the moment. Really listening to the feel of the wood and the knife. That blade going through material. This angle I'm finding seems to be a little more successful. Well, it can be done. Even just this much plus all the shavings is enough to really help you start a fire. So, I've just got a few pieces of wood here, a few little shavings, and some bigger guys. I think it's about time we started up a fire. So how do we go about doing that? Well, alrighty, to start this fire, we are going to start off with the Firefly ferro rod from Tortoise Gear that replaces the toothpick. And in my mini Altoids tin, I have 5 5 Blackbeard fire plugs and a helix tinder that fits in the corkscrew. I have half of helix tinder here in the Ranger, wrapped in some Scotch tape and the mini screwdriver. So let's use some Blackbeard tinder. So This is my method for fluffing up the insides. Break it in half and then start to gently twist and shake and shimmy and to start exposing some of that fluffy innerness. And my hands are getting like a little greasy from the kind of proprietary like oils they have in there. So once I get to that point, I got this idea from John Gadget, using the smaller blade. I'm just gonna fluff that up even more. And I think that's going to be enough. Ah, a slip joint knife, so satisfying. All of these wonderful implements. All right, so I have the ferro rod, and we need a striker. There are options for strikers, especially on the Ranger. There's a plethora of options, one of which is on this combination tool that is the cap lifter, flathead screwdriver, wire stripper, wire bender. One can produce a spark with the wire stripper, and with these Firefly ferro rods, important to strike the narrow end and not the wider flat end. Otherwise you can whittle away enough material that it won't fit snugly in the scale tool slot. So, and then you place a forefinger, so you grip the end. Incidentally, these ends are glow in the dark, very cool. Grip the end and support with a forefinger, and creates a strike. Pretty easy to do. In fact, I love using the wire stripper in my little Rambler pocket knife, which I can show you right now because it is always on my keychain. The Rambler has its own ferro rod, so I replaced the toothpick, and these are, it's a little bit smaller, not quite as long to fit in the 58mm scales. The Rambler has this magnificent tool. I just think this is one of the most clever tools ever, but you can also strike up with that. Back to the Ranger, I think the most common tool is the back of the saw blade, which is it's not sharp, you're not going to cut yourself on this, but it is a sharp 90-degree angle there, which creates a really great striking surface. Oh, maybe not so great. Let's pay attention, Hamid. Okay. There is a little bit of a learning curve sometimes. So with the back of the saw blade, I'm putting it on a surface to keep it steady and so it won't flip back at me. I think the angle is something to get right. But with a little practice, just one strike will do it. So let's take this over. To the fire pit. Oh, oh dear. I put it out. Take two. Alright, well, my plan to transfer that fire plug to over here dismally failed, so let's try again. And heck, this time let's try the Rambler, because I love this capable tiny little knife. Oh, gotta grab it on the correct side, so grab it by the end along the thin end, supporting with the forefinger. Oh. There it goes. So despite user error, you can still start up a fire. And I've sure been impressed with these Blackbeard fire plugs. They're just the easiest way I know to start up a fire these days. I really enjoy using these little ferro rods and cutting up some pieces of wood. I'm going to slowly start to feed this little fire. I sure do enjoy tending to fire. It's one of the most calming, relaxing things to me. I'm very much considering getting a twig burning stove, a little portable backpacking stove, because I think it would be so much fun to make a little coffee or prepare a meal on a tiny wood-burning stove. I mean, that's a nice little fire right there. Well, here we go. With a Swiss Army knife, and a tiny folding Japanese saw, and a ferro rod, and a fire plug, we have made fire! I hope your day is good. It sure is a nice one today. This is Hamid. Breathe easy, my friends. It's gonna be alright. Catch you next time. It's a fire!